I guess I'm not skipping a beat. Welcome back to Mod Pop Thrift. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 6 children. And I had an interesting conversation with my father today. He got what he felt like was scammed on eBay. I feel like it might have been scammed on eBay. We'll get into that in just a minute, but we've got 9 orders to pull on a Sunday night. I know I'm not going to have time to ship them on Monday morning, so we're going to try and get them done tonight. And I got 22 I told you guys, essentially I needed to do 50 this weekend. I got 22, so that means I need to do 28 tonight. And it is currently 7 o'clock in the evening, so I'll keep you posted on the time so we know how long it takes me to get stuff done. First thing's this Kubota hat. We paid $2 for it. It sold for $12 plus shipping in a day and a half. I guess I bought this on Tuesday, so 5 days. So the next thing up is these Durango boots that I paid $15 for the other day. And the lowest on the market were $75 plus $13 shipping. So I listed mine at $69.99 free shipping. I took a best offer of $62.10 and they sold in a day. And you might say to yourself, well, yeah, it's easy to sell stuff if you sell it $25 below market value. And to that I would say, allow me to retort. The market isn't buying them at $75 plus $13 shipping. Those didn't sell. So they were listed when I comped those. They were listed days later. I don't know that there's a way to know how long they were listed. They've been listed, but when I bought those, there were 6 pairs listed and 0 sold. Now there are still 6 pairs listed and there's 1 sold, and it's mine. So looking at an item like this where it's $15 and the lowest one that can be bought is $88, pricing it significantly below the things that are not selling makes yours look like a bargain, and these are going to an international buyer. I think that it doesn't make sense to let unsold listings tell you where to price your items. And looking at an item like that is definitely high quality, it's a good name brand, but everything that is currently listed is unsold and there are none sold. So like a lot of people would look and say, well, there's none listed. I can set the market as high as I want. This one, I tend to look at it and say, oh, there's none sold. I'm going to set the market as low as I want because I'm making really good money at a $15 investment. So after fees and the $7 it's going to cost me to ship those, because I just looked up the label, I'm going to be making about $40 on that $14 investment. And if you look at these boots and say, those are really high quality boots, I deserve to get $75 plus shipping out of them, you're going to sit on them for a long time. I look at this and say, this I bought cheap enough to turn it quickly. And so I'm like, hey, I made a $14 investment and I get $40 returned even after my cost of goods, fees, and shipping. So I'm pretty excited about those boots. Nobody was able to sell them except for me. I did not realize that this type of Carhartt was a vintage tag, but evidently it's a vintage 90s tag. I paid $8 for this. It sold for $37.50 in a matter of a day and a half. So the other day at the Habitat store, we got a Presto salad shooter that didn't work. It kind of worked. You could press the button, and if you held the on switch down hard, it would turn on, but that's not how it's supposed to work. So I got rid of the motor, but I kept the accessories. We paid $1 for it. This cord I listed, and it sold for $9.99 that was Tuesday, but I didn't list it. I don't think I listed it until last night. So it sold in a day for $9.99. Those Presto salad shooters can be really good, especially to part out. I've got a couple of questions about the blades already, and so those will probably sell pretty quick too. This might be one of those cases where I sold this way too cheap, but I couldn't find anything like it. This cap that emblem feels Y2K to me. This is just a real plain dad hat. I think we paid $2 for it at Goodwill sometime this week, a couple of days ago, and it sold for $13.99 plus shipping in an hour of being listed. So I feel like probably somebody knew what that was better than I did. I made money, so I'm not upset about it, but it sold so fast, I think it probably was way under market value. This Washington, D.C. t-shirt, it's embroidered tourism t-shirt, 2XL. I don't know where I got it. Probably as a giveaway on Whatnot or something. This is not the kind of thing I would pick up. Sold for $9.44 free shipping plus shipping, because when an offer came in on it, I was keen to take it because it's not the kind of thing that sells very well. 6 Pez dispensers. I bought a bunch of Pez dispensers on a high bid auction, and some of them were Ninja Turtles and some of them were Star Wars. And then there were these 6. I sold the Pez and the Star Wars pretty quickly and made some profit, and those 6 just sold on an offer for $3 plus shipping. I probably wouldn't have listed those again. I think I had them listed for $5.99 plus shipping, and when an offer came in, I was keen to take it because $5.99 plus shipping isn't really worth much, and $3 got them sold, so it is what it is. Not, but I show you guys every sale so that you see the highs and the lows of what I'm doing. There you are. IKEA, we paid $3.10 for this like 3 weeks ago. This IKEA mirror, it's like expandable kind, sold for $17.50 free shipping. So these are the last pieces of the PS2. It's a power cord and an AV cord. I paid $50 for the PS2, hoping that it would work. It came with this. It came with the console. It came with a black controller and a blue controller. I don't know how much money I made on it, but I think there were those 4 transactions, and I'll put up here. This is how I did. $50. If it had worked, it would have been a home run. Since it didn't work and I didn't return it, it's probably not great. Told you guys the other day that this red tote was full of PS1 and PS2 controllers. I was not kidding. It is so completely stuffed with PlayStation controllers that it is hard to see everything. Some of them are generic third party. Some of them are PS1 green controllers. And I'm sure at this point you're asking yourself, well, Tom, what sold overnight? I'll tell you. What would Xena do? I really like finding shirts on this Allure tag. They're vintage, they're nice quality, they're generally pretty cool. This one's single stitch. If you don't know what single stitch is, it's one line of stitching here on the bottom and on the sleeve, as opposed to 2. I'm assuming that that's Xena Warrior Princess, but it isn't officially licensed, so who knows. And these Tiva sandals sold for $19 free shipping. I mean, they'll go in a poly mailer because it's not like anything can happen to them. But these are another thing where if you're buying stuff that has some sales velocity but a low sell-through rate, you can buy it cheap enough to sell it cheap. You can still sell it quickly and for a profit, but you have to kind of be low in the market. All right, so I had a package that was supposed to drop at UPS on Thursday, and it was just way in the back 40 of the van, and I forgot about it. So the buyer messaged me Saturday night after it was too late and said, hey, this hasn't been shipped yet. What's going on with it? And I'm like, oh no. So I messaged them back and told them that I would get it out first thing Monday morning, and they asked me to upgrade it to 2-day air, and it cost me $20, but it was my error, so I did that. Speaking of my error, I did end up sending the guy the $2 free shipping stuff. Just like, I could have done a handful of things and not lost the money on that, but I would rather just lose money than be over dramatic and say my integrity. Like, it was my mistake, and you sure the guy, like, it was that was an unreasonably good price. But as much as we all say, you wouldn't ask Walmart if they blah 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 blah, if Walmart had $2 price on the shelf, you would expect them to honor that price, even if it is a mistake. So I guess we're not filming that way. Holy cow. But the issue with Pop getting scammed on eBay. My dad got scammed, and I didn't tell you about it. I told you I was going to tell you about it, and I didn't tell you about it. So he bought, we won't mention the fact that he went onto eBay and bought a Wii from someone, a stranger, on when I know a guy who has Wii's available for sale on eBay if he's trying to buy eBay Wii's. But anyway, that beside the point. Pop bought a Wii for like $6 plus $24 shipping, and then he got it and it didn't work, and he sent it back. But he must not have opened an in-ad, an item not as described. He must have sent it back some other way, because when he sent it back, the person refunded his $6 and kept the shipping. And he's like, that makes me not want to shop on eBay anymore. But probably I will just never buy anything that charges shipping again, because evidently people who charge shipping are trying to defraud people. And while I don't believe that is necessarily true, one bad egg spoils the bunch of apples. One bad apple spoils the bunch. Anyway, it isn't a good look for everybody. And so I just thought that was interesting. That I know exactly when he said it, what happened. I knew exactly what happened. But does it? I don't know what the lesson is to learn there, but it's interesting that my dad's 70, but he's not un-tech savvy the way that some people in his generation are. He was an early adopter on computers, and he hasn't really kept up, but he's not, as far behind as other people his age. Anyway, he bought something and now feels like buyers who charge shipping are looking to scam people out of the shipping charge, which isn't the case. But it doesn't matter whether or not that's the truth, if that's his experience, and what the buyer mentality in this case is more important than what the truth is, because it will, more than the truth, his mentality will dictate his purchasing. So just something to keep in mind. Don't be that guy, and don't buy stuff that is significantly more for shipping than for the product, because there isn't a good reason for a Wii to cost $24 to ship, and there isn't really a good reason to sell a Wii for $6 either. And why is he spending $30 on a Wii also? But all those things aside, I just thought that was interesting, because my dad, he didn't reach out. I didn't know the man was shopping on eBay that week. It would be, what a pity he didn't have anybody that he knows and can trust to talk about eBay with him. Anyway, the girls, mostly that one, wanted to go to Goodwill this morning, and Dad forgot that they didn't open until 10, so it's 9 on a Monday morning. I say you should show up later. Holy cow, the parking lot filled up while I was talking about my dad getting scammed on eBay. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, 6 waiting here. I couldn't see that one over when I looked. I couldn't see it over my shoulder. We're gonna go into this here Goodwill on a first fresh thing Monday morning and see what we can get. Also, this broken G.I. Joe sold.
Two in the back row.
There are 2 in the back row.
Yeah.
All of those, I think, are employees. That's where they tell their employees to park. So I don't think those count. Oh, the G.I. Joe sold for $16.20 plus shipping. His hand is broken, but he's got his gun. And G.I. Joes, people make customs and repair. So if somebody's got one that's dog chewed, but that arm is good, they can just swap the arms out. And then people do that kind of thing all the time with G.I. Joes. So G.I. Joes, even in bad condition, can be really good. That was a retro truckload sale, but I think it wasn't listed for a long time. Anyway, we're gonna go in this here Goodwill in 6 minutes and see if we can find anything to be money makers. So these are Hoka One One, and they aren't in really good shape, but they aren't expensive either. So I'm gonna look into them. They're called Challenger Low. Brooks used to be a really good brand. These don't have any insoles in them, which isn't a deal breaker if they're good, but I don't imagine in that size they're very good. So this is from 2001, and it's Sanrio, I think. Or are these stickers just stickers on there? I think maybe those are just stickers on there because I can't find one like it. But it's pretty cool if you're a big fan of Hello Kitty and the crew. So far, pretty not impressed with this morning shift thing. This is probably the best thing that I found. Made in the US Oshkosh Snap gray work shirt. I think it's a 2X. I don't think it'd quite fit your boy, but it'd be fun. I like it. This is another wild pattern hand knit Nautica, but it's 8/16, and I might get 30. It's probably not quite as good as the one that I showed you the other day that was I said it was golf. I took a closer look and it's actually fisherman, which comps lower than the golf one. Russell blank, size large, USA tag, and then this hit on the bottom makes it a little more desirable. It's just another Russell tag down there, and it's only $5. And this one I'd looked at a couple of times before, but blue is half price, and so at $5.50 this would be $2.75. Shady Rays, it's Arizona, which is not a great tag, but that's a cool vintage shirt anyway. And the reason I know this is vintage is because I remember this existing when I was in high school in the late 90s. Found Eli Cattleman pearl snap in really nice shape, large tall, for $5.44. And then this vintage Russell tag with the vintage Russell on the bottom and the Illinois Illinois $5.44. And the boys have been subdividing their Legos a lot, and so these little drawers will be really helpful for that, and they're $5 a piece. So the Hokas, there are 15 sold and 19 listed, which is pretty good, and it's $6. They're probably 30 plus shipping on the low end. So I think I'm going to grab them, but they're in the condition. I may not even list them quite that high. And let me see them. Okay, so for $6.80, so they're going to cost me $7. So it can cost me $6 in fees if I ship them. If I do 30 free shipping, and then the shipping, the lowest price is 50 free shipping. So I could even do 40 and be well below the market because of the condition and expect to get it. These are pretty darn worn out. I may just skip them because if I can't do 30 plus shipping on those, they're just probably too worn out to sell at much more than that. So these are $7.50, and there's at least seven cars in there, and then the track, and who knows whether or not the track is complete, but at $7 a dollar a car, I think I can do okay on them. $7.50, this bag of balls. The kids will if I can't make money on one of them and the kids figure out something to do with it, that'll be a good pickup. So these wheels are $30 each. Why on earth would you sell them one off? Like, I could buy one of these and then guarantee that the other 3 will still be here when they're half price because nobody's going to buy 3. So this is off a 2024 Hyundai Elantra, and it was shipped to a tire center here in town. They're $31 a piece. So those are off a brand new 2024 Hyundai Elantra, but at $120. I think they're probably $350 free shipping. But I would probably be prone to ship them individually. So then you're $25 a piece and $100 to ship them. And then you're $225 in fees. You're probably breaking even, not really making money. Find of the day status right here, 544, made in the US. If it was pearl snap, that'd be a $50 shirt. Excuse me. The way that it is, it's probably 35 or 40. And I'm about to run out of battery power, so I'll show you anything else later. How about My Neighbor Totoro for $3.10?
A Totoro?
So they are trickling through those hats a little bit. How about these Oakleys for $20? I definitely am gonna look at those. As I suspected, these are not the, oh, they are frog skin Oakley. So it's 11:30. We spent an hour and a half in there. I spent $72 after my 10% discount. I had a $10 rewards thing, so it would have been $82. And I think we did all right. I think these glasses are pretty good. They're Oakley frog skin. And I just wear every pair of glasses that I buy. I think that Paisley Wrangler is pretty good. This My Neighbor Totoro, I know because I looked for buying one for my niece that there are no cheap options for that. So that one's a cut tag, but it's got to be worth $310. It's gonna be worth $310 to give to my niece, if nothing else. I don't like the way these, like, I like aviators, or these are not aviators, these are a Wayfarer is the Ray-Ban name for this design. These are probably $60-$75 if I wait for the right buyer, but I'll get $50 for them this week instead. All right, so I gotta get these girls some lunch and get my packages shipped. Hey, we had a discussion yesterday about changing the channel to 2 channels. I think what I'm gonna do, because picking only channels do much better, and I want to make that good YouTube money, which I'm never gonna make a living YouTubing, but or I guess it's not impossible, but I'm not holding out. I'm not holding my breath. I think what I'm gonna do is over the summer when I'm sourcing hot and heavy and I'm doing like a whole day, I might make that video on a different channel that then feeds over to this channel, and or I'll still do these videos and those videos, but I don't think we're going to change anything here. But there may be in the coming months a pop-up. What would I name that channel? I don't like that everybody is called Flips or Picks or Picker, Mod and Pop Picker. I'm thinking maybe like Sourcing with Mod and Pop, or Treasure Hunting with Mod and Pop, or something that still says Mod and Pop in it, but doesn't say Flipper Picker. Because those things are trite and everybody does it, but also everybody does it so it would be obvious to the audience what the channel is. So I don't know. I'm still hashing out the whole idea. Anyway, let's go to the outro. Thanks for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, following, clicking the bell, all the things